The US is extensively boosting the size of its fleet, be it aircraft supercarriers, stealthy attack submarines, teeny-weeny drones, or unmanned underwater vehicles. This Orca-class extra-large unmanned undersea vehicle will have limited crew members with more power, great sensor range, and many such classic featurizations. A total of 5 Orca-class submarines are planned by the US, of which one is already under trials. These submarines can navigate in deep waters or even hazardous battlefields, and the best part is, these Orca-class submarines will be a wild card for the US naval force to smartly invade the enemy's borders. Not only invade, but smartly trick them with their smartness. Yes, these Orca-class submarines will be an excellent addition to the US fleet. What is so unique about the newly buzzed Orca-class extra-large unmanned undersea vehicles? Do the Chinese and the Russian naval forces need to fear this incredible creation by the US naval forces? Are there any other submarines on the radar of the US naval force? Let's buckle up to find out some fascinating facts about this ghost fleet with a robotic touch. The first from the fleet of 5 Orca-class extra-large unmanned undersea vehicles was spotted this summer, being tested in Huntington Beach, California. Of the 5 planned for the fleet, 4 of these XLUUVs will be operational and the one will be serving as the test bed vehicle. This Orca-class submarine will suit the best for riskier underwater missions, as the Navy no longer needs to risk their lives for hazardous missions. This entire unmanned undersea vehicles fleet will be an extraordinary addition to the US submarine fleet, as these submarines are featured to carry gigantic payloads which can carry as well as dispense mines. This outstanding featurization of XLUUVs of a 34-foot-long payload bay will help other submarine fleets to directly engage with the enemy for counter-attacking them. How are these XLUUVs different from other submarines? To a surprise, these 80 tons weighing Orca-class submarines will be diesel-electric submarines and not nuclear-powered submarines. The design of these Orca-class submarines is much like a torpedo. However, engineers have not compromised on the technical parts of the submarines. All the ultra-modern sensors and communication mast are at a position flush with the hull. The Navy has not disclosed every small detail like speed, range, and other details of these Orca-class submarines, but it is expected to surely outperform all other submarines in the defense world. This is special because of their extraordinary feature of tricking the enemy during wartime. The newly buzzed and attracted Hammerhead mine will be waiting on the seabed floor, keenly hearing the signs of enemy submarines. Once they hear about them, their work starts. This mine will smartly release a homing torpedo which will hunt down and destroy the offending submarine. Usually, sea mines are not publicized much and are underestimated, but they are really fatal and can cause hilarious damage to a ship's hull if they carry out any underwater explosions. Yes, these sea mines are also difficult to spot, so even if laid on the path of enemy parts, it becomes difficult to detect them. The US has planned for these sea mines because the US has already faced the adverse consequences of sea mines explosions during World War II. The US Navy lost the cruiser USS Princeton, frigate USS Samuel B. Roberts, and the amphibious transport USS Tripoli. Now it's the US preparing the dangerous new generation sea mines to make a smart trap for Russian and Chinese Navy submarines. Before diving deeper to know everything about the deadly extra-large unmanned underwater vehicle, Orca-class submarines, make sure that you subscribe to our channel to know more about incredible submarines and defense equipment that'll revolutionize the defense system. What's the US strategy after Orca-class submarines are ready to be deployed? These autonomous XLUUVs will be best suited for riskier enemy areas, as these drones can raise their masts, get up-to-date orders from the designated naval force, and finally proceed with the mission. Take an example of placing sea mines on the path of China invading other countries. Interestingly, there are very few beaches from where these carriers or China's submarines pass on, so placing sea mines on those areas will be a nasty surprise for China, isn't it? This is the US's super daring mine placement strategy for hard-to-detect drones like Orca-class submarines. This strategy will help uncrewed submarines to get closer to enemy territory. Say for example, these mines can be placed at Miyako Strait in the East China Sea, which is a favorite route of Chinese Navy aircraft carriers. This is the only minor part of the US's strategy to attack Russian or Chinese submarines. Their core aim is to get closer to the enemy's shore so that they can threaten and harass the enemy's ship constantly. This will do half of their work, and the next half part will be done by those real aircraft carriers or submarines who are ready to attack. How will the Orca-class submarine be designed? The Orca XLUUV is expected to mock up the design of the Boeing Echo Voyager. However, specifically for the payload, Orca XLUUV will be having a modular payload bay, which means a defined interface that will have current and future payload which will be adhered to employment from the vehicle. As of now, the XL-UUV will be integrated with the required payload, and for future needs, some payloads will be developed, evaluated and integrated into the vehicle if at all needed to fulfill the future potential needs. Almost about 51 feet long, a rectangular cross-section of 8.5 feet by 8.5 feet, weighing about 50 tons in total, and with an incredible range of 6,500 nautical miles. Talking about the payload section of the Echo Voyager, it also has the same modular payload section, which is about 34 feet long and can be extended to 85 feet if needed. This 34 feet payload section of the vehicle offers 2,000 cubic feet of internal payload volume, and apart from the internal, the Echo Voyager is also capable of accommodating external payloads. However, Orca will not entirely resemble Echo Voyager. In some aspects, Orca will be significantly different and will be designed according to the needs of military missions. It was reported that the designing and construction of the XL-UUV Orca is facing some issues with the manufacturing process, fabricating the industrial base, and smoothening the supply chain for constructing the first prototype from the group of these unmanned undersea vehicles. Once constructed, this XL-UUV Orca will be a leading edge of autonomous maritime vehicle technology because of its commendable features like the range, a modular payload that will also support multiple payloads, and most importantly, it'll be suitable for a variety of deadly missions. What is the US planning for the future? The US Navy is working keenly to fill in the gaps and meet the emerging military requirements. Unmanned vehicles fit the best in the picture because of their insane capabilities like artificial intelligence, hypersonic weapons, cyber capability, and interesting quantum technology. The US Navy is just planning all of these and collaborating with China to develop such advanced combat equipment. These UAVs will be a super saving package for the US Navy when compared with manned military vessels, as these automated vehicles will be equipped with powerful sensors, weapons, and other payloads which could be operated remotely. Unmanned vehicles can also be deployed for long-duration missions, which might mitigate or at least minimize the risk of injury or death of human operating the equipment. It's not just extra-large unmanned surface vehicles, but the Navy has also some plans for large unmanned surface vehicles and medium unmanned surface vehicles. First, talking about the large unmanned surface vehicles, or LUSVs, which will be appropriately 200 to 300 feet in length and will have a full load displacement of 1,000 tons to 2,000 tons, which is quite commendable. The Navy has kept in mind some aspects that need to be taken care of while constructing these LUSVs, like minimizing the cost, high endurance is a must, and reconfigurable ships, which will have sufficient capacities for modular payloads. Next on the list are medium unmanned surface vehicles, which are expected to be in length somewhere between 45 to 190 feet. Similar to LUSVs, these medium unmanned surface vehicles are expected to be a perfect blend of low costs, high endurance, and reconfigurable ships which can accommodate payloads. The initial payloads for these medium unmanned surface vehicles are predicted to be intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance payloads, and prominently the electronic warfare systems. However, these medium unmanned surface vehicles could not be spotted anytime soon in the next 5 years, as the Navy already has XL-UUV and LUSVs on its pipeline. So, what are your thoughts on the US planning to smartly trick on the enemy with its ultra-modern XL-UUVs? Will the US be successful in getting traps on Russian and Chinese submarines? Do let us know your views in the comments section. And before we wrap up, if you're interested in other fascinating things about combat submarines, then make sure to check out our video on the US's super classic and deadly Astute class submarines. You can go check this out after the video. And if you enjoyed watching it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such exciting content. See you in the next video.